Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report, man. Make sure you sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in my Instagram bio, GradyGrant716. You see me out at sea on the move, you feel me? Like, I really don't stay on one side, you know, from the hood, but I still gotta let y'all know what's happening. I can't stop the show, you feel me? So, it ain't even about the show, it's about informing my people, you dig? Black people, hip-hop community, etc., etc. Now, check this out, though. Shout out to all the white motherfuckers that follow me, too. Shout out to all the Jewish people that follow me, too. I hope y'all can stand up against shit like this, because there's been so President Trump had actually urged Israel to bar entry to the first two Muslim congresswomen in the U.S., Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. Now, due to their support of the BDS movement, BDS being boycott, divestments, and sanctions. So Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, you know, of Israel, whatever, he actually announced that they weren't allowed entry. But Rashida Tlaib is actually Palestinian. She's actually from the occupied West Bank and has a 90-year-old ailing grandmother there. So they actually, on the humanitarian ground, allowed her to come there, but said that she can't say or do anything with the BDS movement while out there. So people are shaming this as some, like, you know what I mean? This is not like, it's showing, it's clearly a sign of weakness. Like, they can't have any criticism against them. The BDS is meant to call out the atrocities they've been committing against the Palestinian people. Even APEC, American Israel Public Affairs Committee, has actually denounced that shit. So that's how you know it's real. Green Wall Graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report, man. Make sure y'all sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in my Instagram bio, GradyGrant716. Now, you see me out at sea and shit on the move. I still gotta let y'all know what's happening, but over in Kashmir, I've been telling y'all there's been tension there, especially between you know, the neighboring countries, Pakistan and India. India has a portion of, they actually control a portion of Kashmir. You know, Kashmir being a Muslim majority country. But India actually revoked its special status over there, which people already feared was going to lead to, you know, bloodshed and genocide, possibly ethnic cleansing and whatever. So, and the Pakistanis aren't having that. Indians being the Hindus, Pakistanis being the Muslims, and all of that. So there were gunfire exchange, and over the past across the line of control, which essentially breaks up the region. Keep this in mind, as India has actually had a crackdown on their part of Kashmir, meaning there was no communication being allowed to go in and out of the country and all of that, whatever. Man, the gunfire that was exchanged in the past 24 hours actually killed 11 people, including 3 Pakistani soldiers and 2 Pakistani civilians. Everyone else being Indian soldiers. So, you know, it's getting crazy over there, and people are worried because these are 2 nuclear powers. Let's see what happens. The Ring War or Graduation. Oh yeah, keep in mind that in London, there were thousands of people rallying against the crackdown of Kashmir by India. Green Wall and Graduation. New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report, man. Make sure y'all sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in the Instagram bio, GradyGrant716. Now, y'all remember that Iranian oil tanker that was actually seized by the British last month? I've reported on it a few times because they thought this tanker was actually, it was an oil tanker, and they thought it was delivering oil to Syria, which actually goes against European Union sanctions. So they seized the boat. Now keep in mind, the British seizing the boat and then putting it in Gibraltar or whatever, a nearby country. Iran is saying that's actually in violation of their landmark nuclear treaty that British was supposed to be had a co-signatory of, and that the U.S. had actually pulled out of via Trump last year. But the reality is, this is a tanker that last week, or earlier this week, pardon me, Trump was actually telling the British to keep holding on to it, but they're actually, I guess because he was interested in getting it, but they're actually going to release it back to Iran. So as a result, Trump administration is saying they are going to deny visas to any of the crew members who get back aboard the ship. Keep in mind that the U.S. is in talks with, secret talks apparently, with the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and Israel on how to confront Iran. Shit might get ugly. Green Wall and Graduation. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report, man. Make sure you sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in my Instagram bio, GradyGrant716, laying out exactly why he should be taken away from the platform, man. Putting us, the troops, people abroad in danger. Like, it must be stopped without any accountability. Come on, man. We've seen the detriment of this shit, so let's get him out of here. Let's nip that in the bud. Now check this out, though. North Korea actually had conducted, more missile launches. They tested two missiles or whatever, and this is the 6th month in a row that they've just been testing missiles, which makes everybody uneasy. This is a nuclear power. There's a lot of sanctions that have been put in against this country. They're seen as a dictatorship and all of that, whatever. It seems like they don't respect South Korea, but especially considering that they actually rejected another round of peace talks with South Korea. So maybe the love boat that we thought they had when they made peace earlier this year isn't so. Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see how this pans out. The Green War and Graduation. Recent report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Make sure you sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. You can find a change.org link in my Instagram bio, GradyGrant716, laying out exactly why he should be removed from that platform, putting us, people abroad, U.S. troops in danger, violating Twitter policies. Come on now, it's got to stop. Now, check this out. The NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, has just confirmed that July is actually the hottest month on record globally for the past 140 years since they've been recording. The hottest month on record. And this is also, you're talking about like a lot of ice has actually melted in the Arctic and the Antarctic. City states, all of that across the country, across the world, have dealt with like sweltering heat and record-breaking heat. And it's actually the 415th consecutive month that there's been above average temperatures. So so people might want to step it up if they feel like climate change is going to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Green War and Graduation. Recent report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Make sure you sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find a change.org link in my Instagram bio, GradyGrant716. Is out exactly why he should be moved from the platform. Now, check this out. Over in so at Cornell University, Professor Robert Howarth, he actually did this new study, and it was published in this journal, Biogeosciences, so you can check it out if you want. It basically says that the increase in methane gas, the second largest greenhouse gas contributor, and it's way more potent than carbon dioxide when it comes to trapping heat in the atmosphere. The increase in methane gas over the past decade is actually attributed to the fracking boom that's going on in the United States and Canada. Basically saying that these two countries in the Americas, in which we're opposite or whatever, are the culprits when it comes to adding this methane gas into the air so much. There's also the chemical fingerprint that's left from the study also shows that there's a lot of chemical gas leakage coming from shale oil. Fracking, for those who don't know, this when you use highly pressurized water deep underground to break these rocks in order to get the shale oil, but it's said to cause a lot of earthquakes and just environmentally bad. Green War and Graduation. Streets report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Make sure y'all sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. You can find a change.org link in my Instagram bio, GradyGrant716. Lays out exactly why you should be removed from that platform. So check this out. In the past 2 weeks, 270 people have actually died in India, and 1 million people have been displaced. Why do you ask? Well, if you've been paying attention, I told you that they actually had some heavy rain and heavy monsoon that resulted in like a lot of mudslides that took place in South Asia and Southeast Asia. This includes India. This includes Burma. Now in India, though, specifically, 270 people have lost their lives due to these heavy rains in the past 2 weeks, and 1 million people displaced. So keep those people in India in your thoughts and prayers. I mean, they definitely going through with the beef with Pakistan, and it looks like shit is gonna get worse before it gets better over there in Kashmir and all of that. But this is still very serious, for the Hindu people over there. Green War and Graduation now. Streets report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Make sure y'all sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in my Instagram bio, GradyGrant716. He keeps putting us, people abroad, troops in danger, and migrants, and everything. Like, it's inhumane how he's able to say all of this fuck shit on Twitter with all of that power and then not even be held accountable for it because he's doing it behind a social media device. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta cut that out. Not for no president. Not on our watch, man. Make him actually say some of the, let him say this shit in front of people so people could tell him how stupid that shit is. Now, this is also stupid that I even have to say this, but the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals actually had to reject an attempt by the Trump administration to deny child migrants toothpaste, soap, and beds. So they basically came to this ruling, and keep in mind that the Department of Justice, Sarah Fabian, she's the lawyer for them, actually had argued against that, saying that they don't, that's not a necessity. But these judges ruled that this is essential to child safety. So cut it the fuck out. Green War and graduate. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Make sure y'all sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Go find the change.org link in the Instagram bio, GradyGrant716. Now check this out. Over in the AP has actually reported that dozens of immigrant families are planning on suing the United States government over the family separation policies and the foster care system that accompanies it, because these families were actually or they're making claims that actually these children actually suffer from physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. So we'll see how these lawsuits essentially pan out. Green War and graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Make sure you sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in my Instagram bio, GradyGrant716. Lays out exactly why you should be taken for the platform. Who done violating Twitter policies, putting us, people abroad, U.S. troops in danger. Like, come on, we gotta cut it out. Without any accountability, we can't do that, man. Now, check this out, though. Officer Thomas Woodworth has actually been placed on leave after plowing through a line of protesters outside of the Wire Detention Center located in Central Falls, Rhode Island. So the Never Again Action organization, a group of Jewish protesters who've actually been frontlining for the rights of immigrants and asylum seekers, had actually formed a line in front of the detention center, protesting, demanding that they release asylum seekers. This doofus actually just drove his pickup truck through these motherfuckers. Put injured two crazily. One dude, including a 64-year-old activist who ended up with a fractured leg and internal bleeding. And then 3 others were later on like pepper spray and ended up hospitalized for that. So, they got abused. Anybody who's crazy enough to drive a truck through a crowd of people while you're supposed to be working, that person should not be working anymore. Green War graduate. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Make sure you sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in my Instagram bio, GradyGrant716. Now, y'all remember the mass shooting that just happened, last week or whatever, in Dayton, Ohio, where this gunman, it's now said that this person actually killed those 9 people in a span of 32 seconds. So 32 seconds it took him to kill 9 people, and the Dayton police officers' autopsy reveals that the police officers actually fired 24 to 26 rounds at him. You know what I'm saying? So you shooting 25 bullets at him, but the dude actually had 52 wounds on his body. It was also revealed that the Dayton police had accidentally shot one of the people that were killed. Actually had a bullet from the police as well. And another person was injured from police fire, which I guess you can't blame, because it's a panic if you come through with that automatic and you killing 9 people in just dozens of seconds. Like, so yeah, that motherfucker gotta die. So I'm not gonna hold that against the police, but the difference between the rounds fired and the wounds in his body is weird to me, though. Green War and graduate. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. I got news to tell y'all, let y'all know to stay woke, because whatever's happening in the close seas, that also happened in the United States. Best believe that. Like, for example, Chinese telecommunications giant Huawei, they actually were found that to have actually helped politicians in Uganda and Zambia, 2 countries in Africa, spy on political opponents in cases leading to people's arrests and everything. For example, in Uganda, they are responsible for intercepting messages from the WhatsApp and the Skype calls of a opposition politician leader, Bobby Wine, who was later on arrested along with his constituents. And he's actually currently running for president now. And also in Zambia, it was used to actually locate like political opponents or whatever who ended up being arrested. Opposition leaders, people who are opposed to the regime that's in place. So, stay woke, because who knows, they could be doing the same thing over here. Y'all remember Trump actually tried to cut him a break and dealing with this trade war shit. Green War and graduate. The New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, man. Make sure you sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in the Instagram bio, GradyGrant716. Lays out exactly why he should be removed from there, including violating Twitter policy, putting us and people abroad in danger. Now, it said that Trump has actually had interest and has repeatedly asked his advisors if it's possible for the U.S. to actually purchase Greenland from Denmark, who's actually the, it's actually under their rule. Danish politicians, they're kind of just like, fuck is you talking about? Like, this ain't for sale. That's pretty much the government's response. One politician is quoted in saying, and I paraphrase, but like, the idea of selling 50,000 citizens to the U.S. For a fee is ludicrous, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of crazy. Trump is said to be interested in that because of its geopolitical position and also its great resources. But keep in mind that we already have the Thule Air Base out there. So what is the power grab about? I don't know. But Trump is set to meet the Danish Prime Minister next month. We'll see what happens. Green War and Graduation.